Hi, and I'm trying something new for the first time ever tonight with my BABBLE movie reviews. Something where I post asking someone to request that I give a quick, rapid review of a movie upon request, especially if it's one that you choose that I already have on Blu ray or DVD, which I probably do if you name it, because I have well over 3,500 in my library. And tonight's the first time ever. So Douglas Little was the person who commented or requesting what I'm watching now. Just to refresh my memory, I'm rewatching Behind the Mask and The Rise of Leslie Vernon. And from what I recall of it, I liked it. It's a satire film, uh, obviously about the horror genre. But the way it's shot as well as any serious horror movie. Um, the pacing, the music, everything is as good as any serious horror movie. There are even creepy parts. I don't know about scary, but I don't know that they were shooting for scary. Sorry if I'm looking away. I'm watching the movie as I'm talking, and but the satire in it, the jokes, they weren't corny and almost slapstick, Three Stooges like in Scary Movie, and they were intelligent jokes, most of the time told by the killer during an interview. This is just now starting, but I'm speaking right now on what I remember. Some of the jokes made fun of, uh, along with us, it made fun of things that that we make fun of about movies. I forgot Robert Englund was in this, but just saw his name in the credits. And then some of the jokes were actually making sense of some of the things we make fun of in movies, and makes us feel like we actually made less sense for making fun of them. So I love the fact that it looked at it from both sides. So let me watch a few minutes of this, and then we'll cut to the next thing I have to say. Hmm. I forgot about that. Where she mentions Crystal Lake and Jason Voorhees. In Elm Street. And it shows the actual house, but yet Kane Hodder standing in front of it and goes into it, who plays Jason a lot. I forgot about this. And Haddonfield, which doesn't exist, but so this I forgot about, and I really love this about the movie. Hmm. Now, when I give my review, keep in mind I rate my movies. Now, my rating is based on a scale from 1 to 10. And while one movie might be a 9 that is a goofy comedy, and one might be a 9 that is Braveheart or something, don't compare and say, wow, you gave that the same rating as Brave. No, keep the movies in perspective. When I give them a rating of 1 to 10, to see what number they get on a scale from 1 to 10, it's always keeping in mind what genre they're within. Keep things within their own container, if you will. A scale from 1 to 10 for a comedy would be rating it based on how good of a comedy it was. So you couldn't compare what it gets rated to, a serious dramatic or epic film. I like how they take so much time to show you exactly how normal Vernon is. As to say that, what do you expect when you watch a horror movie? Why would the killer have to be somebody that, like Jason, Michael, or Freddy? Although Michael could be like this guy. Because in real life, most killers are the person next door that you would never guess. And I love how we look into his life not as a killer. It's funny, but it makes sense. And that's one of the things I was talking about earlier, about how it kind of makes fun of us and the things we make fun of in horror movies that actually make sense, if that makes any sense. So from his library of books and how-tos to his workout regimen, all being driven by being a serial killer. Everything's to improve his performance. Since this is a rapid review, keep in mind I won't be giving as much of an in-depth review. We're at the part now where obviously they realize the documentary should be over and they should be leaving because Vernon is now after them. I won't give away any reveals for anybody who hasn't seen it, but I'll get to the review while this is finishing up. Because keep in mind, again, this was a rapid review. It's not my typical psychobabble. Keeping this movie in perspective with the type of movie it is, which I wouldn't add the comedy into it. I think the comedy is a very thin layer over a real horror movie. So I'll still grade this movie based on a horror movie. I would actually give this movie easily. Now, a more in-depth interview, and if I paid more attention to refreshing my memory with the movie, I'd probably find even more that I like about it, but to be safe, I'm going to stick with a 7 out of 10. Behind the Mask, within its genre, 7 out of 10. Just a couple key things that I would have done differently. His outfit, not big on the suspender style, kind of hillbilly overalls and the mask. I didn't like the mask, and it's called Behind the Mask. I would like to have seen a more iconic mask, even if they had to rip off, a movie by making it closer related to a movie, since that is what this movie's doing. So, a 7 out of 10. Everything else about the movie's perfect. 7 out of 10. Behind the Mask, The Rise of Leslie Vernon. So there you go, Douglas Little. Thanks for requesting.